Welcome to this tutorial on how to fill out the conflict of interest form. First, what constitutes a conflict of interest? This is when the proposed vendor falls into one of the following employee-vendor relationship categories. They're either a current UC employee, a former UC employee, or a near relative of a UC employee. But note, if the employee has been separated for more than 2 years, the conflict of interest does not apply. So what's the process? The conflict of interest is identified when the vendor goes through the onboarding application and payment works. They will be instructed to fill out the top section of the conflict of interest form. This would include their vendor name. They would select the applicable type of employee-vendor relationship, the vendor signature, name, and date at the bottom. Once completed, the vendor coordinator will be notified and forward the document to the onboarding requester to fill out the second portion and route for any additional signatures if needed. Here is a sample of the email that would be received. In the second section, the department is responsible for providing all the details at the top, such as date, the PO amount, but please note that if you don't know the exact amount, please add an estimated total amount. Their departmental contact information, description of the goods or services that will be received, describe who selected the vendor and why. Also note that if you don't have enough room in these fields, please add an additional document with more details to be included with this conflict of interest form when submitting. They would fill out the next yes or no questions on whether the services were available from other sources or through the university's own facilities. If in the previous section the vendor identified that they have a near relative relationship, then that's when the near relative employee would go ahead and be routed this to fill out and select either the first section or second section to describe their employee relationship with the vendor. They would then need to sign, provide their name and date. Now note too, if it is a current employee or if they chose the second section of a near relative owning 10 or more percent interest, then the department chair or supervisor will need to sign, provide their name and date as well. Once that's completed, please forward to procurement@uci.edu. The procurement help desk will then route the form through DocuSign to the Chief Procurement Officer for final review and signature. The requester and the vendor coordinator will be copied so that the final status and fully signed agreement document can be kept for your records. The vendor coordinator will then complete the onboarding in KFS. If you have any questions, please contact procurement@uci.edu. Or if you'd like to know more about the conflict of interest policy itself, please go to the website identified here on the screen.